I really love Harmony Hall, and I feel like Harmony Hall loves me back, and I feel safe and I can just be myself here. My name is Victoria, but everyone calls me Tori. It's a nickname my grandma gave me when I was very young. I was born and grew up around the Macomb area of Michigan. I went back and forth between my mom and my grandma at a very young age. I have two younger sisters. Their names are Savannah and Mackenzie. And when we were little, we were always really close. The day after my birthday, and I mean exactly the day after my birthday, after I turned 7, we moved back into my grandmother's in Chesterfield. Me, my mom, my two sisters. But all of us in that house was my grandma, my grandfather, and this is the grandmother and grandfather I grew up with. My grandma, I was always her favorite. Me and my sisters lived there with her. My mom eventually moved out, tried to get her own place, and we would visit her, but I was being conditioned to be like my grandmother and only like my grandmother and not like my mom. So I even threw a mattress at my mom when I was visiting her one day, and that was the last time I went to visit her at her house. And shortly after that, my sister Savannah wanted to leave. I don't remember what day it was, but she wanted to go live with our mom, and my grandmother literally door dropped her and threw all of her stuff in garbage bags on the lawn, waiting and telling our mom to pick her up. Next went Ms. Mackenzie. She wanted to visit Mom on Easter, and my grandmother, being who she was, told her she could go live with her and door dropped Mackenzie on Easter. So it was just me, my grandfather, and my grandmother. And it remained like that for a really long time, 11 years to be exact. I did not realize at the time, but I was told recently that we went to go drop off my sisters at my mom's that day after they visited, and my grandma was trying to door drop me there too, but my mom told her to do it properly. But when I saw my sisters leaving, when I was leaving their house, I was starting to cry because I wanted my sisters to be with me. The day I left my grandmother's, it was really hard because it was shortly after my 22nd birthday and my mom had come back into my life. And my sisters as well. I asked my mom, it was 4 days before my birthday, if she could bring my sisters to celebrate my birthday with me. And she said yes. My grandma acceptingly said yes. My grandmother and my mother never, ever got along. Even though my mom has tried to get along with her. And this is when I started to learn things about my grandmother that I was blind too. Like, that what she was doing to my grandfather was wrong. She would lock him in a room, his bedroom, and he couldn't leave the room except for meals. They would always argue about the silliest things, and he could never be left home alone. She even would call the cops on him for no reason. And my grandfather and I left my grandmother's when she threatened to kill herself with a 3-inch long bread knife because I wanted my sisters back in my life. And we found out my grandmother had Alzheimer's dementia. I believe that's what it was. And the last words she ever said to me were, "You got what you wanted, now go away." I was hysterical at that point. I just started crying. This was when she was in a nursing home. And I never saw my grandmother again. She passed away a couple years later. While living with my mom, me and my mom still didn't get along. We just clashed and argued all the time, and it was getting worse and worse for my mental health. I even was attempting to kill myself. My case manager came and picked me up and took me to a crisis unit in Flint. After about a month and a half of staying at that crisis home, my case manager said there was an opening at an AFC home in Lapeer County, which is where I wanted to be. I liked it. They have a pool, and this is actually where I currently live. And my AFC manager, Cindy, was trying to get me into Harmony Hall since I moved in. She said it would help me. And I started Harmony Hall that November 4th to be exact. Even though I've only been here for 2 years, Harmony Hall has been one of the greatest places I've ever gone. I actually had my first job through Harmony Hall. I worked at TE at Maple Grove. I love working in the media lab and the bank with Sam and Jesse. I also am learning how to do cooking skills in the kitchen with Jennifer and Carrie and Brian. I made so many friends here, and everyone just seems to like my bubbly personality, even though most of the time I try to hide how I really feel with my depression. Because it's kind of hard to always be happy when you have depression. I love going on the trips. I've been on the Holland trip, and this year I'm going to Toledo Zoo with Harmony Hall. And I am happy I have these opportunities. I don't know where I would be without Harmony Hall. I really love Harmony Hall, and I feel like Harmony Hall loves me back, and I feel safe, and I can just be myself here. Is that it?